Senator Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Larkin, for your leadership on this issue as well as the explanation that you gave. I just have a couple further clarification questions, if you don't mind. Sure. Senator Larkin, it is my understanding that the bill as drafted now includes $12 million for the payment of property taxes that are due and owing. Is that correct? That's a yes. You were nodding. Okay. Can you, will the sponsor continue to yield?
Yes. Senator Larkin yields.
Thank you, Senator. The one question I have, and in looking at the bill, is while the bill provides a lump sum, can you provide me, please, with a breakdown as to how the $12 million will be paid out? As you recall, in Elmont, when we had that hearing, and I thank you for hosting that hearing, there are a number of localities that are due and owing taxes. Nassau County, the town of Hempstead, the village of Floral Park, the various school districts. I'm sure a number of the special districts are owing. What I'm trying to get understanding is how is that $12 million going to be apportioned under this bill?
I don't have it here with me, but I'll have it delivered to you this afternoon.
Okay.
It's as we discussed before, it's very specific. As you remember, when Senator Stellis, yourself, and Senator Hannan were there, the discussion was how much will they get, and we all agreed that we would make it specific, and Beth will get you that this afternoon.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Will Senator Larkin continue to yield, please?
Senator Larkin, you continue to yield. Senator Johnson.
Thank you. And in addition, with that information, can I also be provided, please, with not just the amounts, but also the years? Because I believe they're owed more than 1 year.
A show of how much is owed and how much years. That will all be in the same package for you this afternoon.
Excellent. Just a couple more questions. Will the sponsor continue to yield this? Thank you.
Couple more questions.
One of my concerns,
Senator Larkin.
and I know Senator Larkin and I talked about this, is the lack of a Belmont local advisory board that was contained in the original NYRA legislation. It's one of the reasons why I opposed it, among a host of other reasons. The bill that we voted on yesterday, the Senate bill, I believe it was 8698, had some language in there for a Belmont advisory board. Today it's been removed. Can you tell me why it's been taken out of the legislation?
In order to try to get all of this three-way agreement, we had to make some concessions. And the thought was, let's leave this for a later date. As you remember, what we were talking about then was we all wanted to be off the same sheet of music. Well, the only way to get it off the same sheet of music from the other house was to get Belmont out of there.
Will this sponsor continue to yield?
Senator Larkin, will you continue to yield?
Thank you for your answer, Senator Larkin. Senator Larkin, are you aware of my bill, Senate number S6977A, which is a bill that specifically provides for the appointment of a local advisory board for Belmont?
Senator Larkin.
I didn't know for specific, but I have seen that. We went through that. But two things, and I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just saying to you is that when we talked about it, when we first talked about the hearing down there, everybody said, let's come away with something. So what we passed yesterday was what I thought was appropriate. This here gets rid of all of the obvious things that are and aren't going to happen. The only way we could get the three agreement and move this forward, get the payments out there, show how much was owed, how we will pay it, and what we will do on the future. What we will do on the advisory board, I commit to you that we will do something. But we couldn't get that in here with this. So should we go home with nothing? I thought we should go home with paying the fees and the taxes that are owed to the municipalities as a high priority.
Will the Senator continue to yield?
Senator Larkin, would you continue to yield?
One more question.
Senator
One more
Johnson.
question. All right, I'll make it a doozy. I'll ask a question on the bill.
You did indicate, Senator Johnson, only a couple of questions, I think,
I know,
initially.
and he's told me, and I thank you for the questions. Senator Larkin, one of the concerns that the residents of Elmont and Floral Park have is, and you acknowledged it, and you were in Elmont, in the area, NYRA has not been a very good neighbor. They don't clean up very well, they don't really take care of their properties, they don't do anything of that nature, and it really brings down the communities that surrounding it. Under your bill, or under the bill, there is a provision that provides for that 4% of the total revenue that's wagered after the payout of prize. I'm sorry, Senator, I'll refer you to it. It's in page 10. If you have a copy of it in front of you, it's page 10 on the bill, paragraph 3, lines 12 through 17. It's a specific reference. I'm trying to get an understanding for legislative history purposes.
Revenue on that 4%?
That's correct. My question is this, though, and you see it. 4% of the total revenue wagered after payout of prizes to be deposited into an account of the franchise corporation and it's to be used, quote, to be used for capital expenditures in the maintaining and upgrading of Aqueduct Racetrack, Belmont Racetrack, and Saratoga Race Course. My question is, will that upgrading and maintaining not only be the actual racetrack, but it would be the entire area?
That's what we talked about before. This is what you asked about the day we were there.
Your intent is to the entire area.
Our intent that day that we toured that place was to do the entire area.
Okay. Okay.
Whether NYRA listens to us is a horse of a different color. Oh, that was terrible.
Yes, it does.
Senator Johnson on the bill.
On the bill. Thank you, Senator Larkin, very much for answering those questions. I wish I could ask you a few more, but I understand you wanted to limit it. And I thank you for providing those answers. It does clarify a few things. On the bill, obviously, I would have loved to see Senate 8698 be the bill that was the agreed bill between the Senate and the Assembly because it contains language for a local advisory board in Belmont. This is a big issue for the residents of Elmont and Floral Park. There currently is no local advisory board for those residents to address the issues at the Belmont Racetrack. Obviously, a great way to address that, if we're not going to address it in the omnibus bill, is to very easily bring it out of rules today. My bill, Senate Bill number S6977, a simple standalone piece of legislation that would create a local advisory board for the Belmont communities. It has an assembly sponsor, Assemblywoman Michelle Schimmel. It has support in the Assembly. We could pass it here today and accomplish what we wanted to set out and what we talked about to the Elmont community at that hearing. Payment of the taxes and a local advisory board. It'll be two bills, not necessarily one, but this way, everything's accomplished. I would hope that as we wind down our Senate session, we take Senate Bill S6977 up and get that passed. But right before us is the bill we have before us, 8709. And while I find it difficult and upsetting that it's clear to me that the Assembly has issues with the local advisory board in that piece, I thank Senator Larkin because it does show a commitment on paying the property taxes that are due and owing. It'll help Nassau County. It'll help the town of Hempstead. It'll help the village of Floral Park. It'll help the residents of Elmont. It'll help the school districts and the special districts to finally get something back that they are due and owing. So I will be voting in favor of the bill. I urge all my colleagues to vote in favor of it. But hopefully, before the end of session, we can also take up Senate Bill number 6977, my bill for a local advisory board for Belmont Park, and pass that as well. Thank you very much.